So, as I breathe into that, this month has been an incredible month.
Yes,
yes,
it has.
And we've been talking about stepping into the unknown. You know, the first week we talked about the idea that right now is a time to reflect on what is blossoming in our lives based on the seeds that we planted.
Yes.
You know, the springtime, the newness, the seeds that we planted in the harvest and in the darkness are now coming to fruition. We talked about Passover and Easter and the beautiful and amazing meanings of those two holidays. And it is a time in our lives to consciously choose right now what new seeds we're planting. You know,
That's right.
I'm getting ready to plant my garden, and we're laying out what we're planting. And that's the same thing that we do with our lives if we wish to consciously do that. It's a time to consciously choose these new seeds. Each and every moment of our lives, as we talked about last week, is an opportunity to choose. And each and every moment of our lives has been an incredible journey that we have all been on. I mean, if I reflect back on my life 20 years ago, my goodness.
Right?
What a change. I would have never known or even selected, you know, where I am right now. I mean, it wouldn't even have been in my consciousness. But the seed was there and it had been planted. So we've been on this incredible journey throughout the year, this past year, turning within, because we've had to turn within and reflect on what is working and what no longer serves us as individuals, as families, as communities, and the collective consciousness of all of humanity. The second week, we stepped into the unknown together as co-ministers and put ourselves on the line and played Stump the Ministers. I like that we had one question, which we brought up again last week. We had this one question that we really had to think about. And I think we were both grateful that we had our resident anthropologist on hand to help us out with that personality question, which proves my point.
Right.
We need each other.
We need each other.
We
Thank
need
goodness.
each other.
We got each other's back, that's for sure.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And last week we talked about blessitation.
Blessitation.
Blessitation. The combination of the words blessing and hesitation. Every new journey that we choose to embark on can be one filled with excitement and anticipation. But there also may be feelings of hesitation, and this paradoxical state could be called a blessitation, a combination of these blessings and hesitations. So today, we're going to wrap this whole month up by talking about stepping out and stepping up.
All right.
You know, I like
sounds
this.
fun.
Stepping out. It's like wake up, step up, and make a difference.
Exactly.
So we're gonna step out and step up. And to kick us off, there's a quote by Joseph Campbell. And he wrote that we must be willing to let go of the life we had planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. I love that quote. So true. In other words, what we're going to do is gratefully step out of what has been. And you notice I said gratefully because, you know, an attitude of gratitude expands our lives. So we are gratefully going to step out of what has been and confidently step up and into our greatness. Hopefully, some of us will be excited to blaze a new trail of spiritual awareness. And, you know, speaking of spiritual awareness, every day is a spiritual awareness. We just have to be focused and on hand to receive. So what we have learned thus far on our life's journey and what gifts we are bringing to the new leg of our journey is really important. So the question is, what will we share with those who travel with us? You know, we've been traveling together here for quite some time. So let me break it down a little bit.
Break it down.
Break it down. Break it down. Nothing sounds easier than change your thinking, change your life. Right?
Right.
And honestly, in my opinion, nothing is more frightening.
Yeah.
In the science of mind teachings, we don't deny that a condition exists. We deny that it has to continue. And yet, even though we say this, on a daily basis almost, we stay comfortable in our discontent.
Yeah.
Rather than risk stepping out and being that which we are called here to be. And also to become. Each one of us, and you've heard me say this so many times, each one of us is a unique expression of the one mind, the one source, and we are here to be who we have come to be. When we remain comfortable in our discontent, we are using our energy, that particular energy, to stay comfortable, even when we are called to a new experience. It's kind of like a fight almost, to stay uncomfortable, to stay discontented. So all of that energy, right, we're using all of that to stay where we are. And the thing is, besides all of this energy that it takes to be where we are, we could be using that energy to explore a new way.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
imagine. We could take all of that energy that we use to stay where we are
Right.
and let it pull us to a new vision.
Yes.
To discover who we are and our connection to the universe and the greater yet to be. So, Thich Nhat Hanh says that enlightenment for a wave in the ocean is the moment the wave realizes it's water. When we realize we are not separate, but a part of the huge ocean of everything, we become enlightened. We realize this through, here's that word again, we realize this through practice.
Practice, practice, practice.
And we remain awake and aware of this through more.
More practice. Practice,
Exactly.
practice.
As we step out of our comfort zone and step up to our spiritual awakening, it's good to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly.
You and I are part of something greater. We are part of Ahava.
Yes.
We are part of the community, part of the city, the world, whatever.
Yes.
So it's good to remember that, because what we want to bring is something that's going to expand and evolve the world.
Yes, beautiful.
What do you think?
Well, I think as we're, entering into this journey of understanding our interconnection and this journey of awakening to the spiritual truth of oneness, we step into the unknown, and there's a bit of uncertainty, but as we move forward into this unknown, just like when we go on any kind of journey or a trip, we have to decide what we want to bring with us, right? What we're going to pack. What do we really need on this journey, and what can we leave at home? So too are we asked to consider what ideas about ourselves and the world we want to bring with us on this journey, on this path of spiritual awakening. And what are some of those ideas, patterns, habits, etc., that we maybe be willing to leave behind?
In other words, don't overpack. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, don't
Don't
overpack. Just take what you need. And taking what you need means, are you taking love? I know I need love.
taking
Always
love.
always gotta have
love.
love. I'm gonna
taking
take some acceptance with me.
Acceptance, okay.
What about vulnerability? You willing to pack some vulnerability?
No, I'm not taking my bathing suit.
Not that kind, not that kind.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we are going to pack with us this love, acceptance, generosity, all these things that ways of being we desire in this world and things we desire to express, and leave behind perhaps the judgment. Whatever you look like in a bathing suit, just pack it. Come on. Just leave that judgment behind.
All right.
We're going to leave behind the fear and the doubt, the lack, the limitation, the blame. And we are taking with us that which serves our highest good. So the first step is to discern. Just like packing for a trip, we have to be aware of what our thoughts are and then discern what we want to carry with us. And this is how we move along in life on a journey of awakening to become more conscious and live a more conscious life. Our soul is continually calling us to be brave. To be brave, regardless of what other people say or think. That's the work, right? How many of you have been worried about you?
Oh, my.
Maybe just a little bit. Yes. It is definitely human nature to be concerned about what other people think about us, whether it be what we look like, something about our appearance, or something about who we are or how we're expressing in the world, who we love. There are all these ways that if we were to be constantly concerned about other people's opinions, we would not actually be expressing fully in life. So now imagine waking up and then walking through your day completely unencumbered of the thought of what somebody else would think about me. Letting go, leaving that, not packing that along with you. You are leaving the idea of other people's opinions about you behind.
Wow.
And getting to step into the fullness of your own greatness and allow your own inner guidance, your own divine wisdom to guide how you live your life. That's freeing. It's totally free to be able to allow your intuition to guide you, to express in this world freely however you want to express. That brings more love and joy to all. Michelle Obama says, you can't make decisions based on fear and the possibility of what might happen. If we live from a place of what if, or what does somebody think, or what if somebody says this, we won't get very far. If we were to consider all of the what if scenarios of fear and doubt, then that would stop us from actually being willing to try anything and to experience that blessitations we talked about last week, to experience something new by moving forward despite the hesitation, but despite the doubt, moving forward guided by something greater, and be willing to discover something new about ourselves. So I know for me, if I were to have got caught up in all the what-if situations of when I left my spiritual community in Chicago, when I set on this journey to explore and live life somewhere else, if I would have looked at all the what-ifs, it would have stopped me in my tracks, right? If I would have just gotten too in my head about that fear and doubt, I would not be here right now. And I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful
you
to
are
be here.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's evidence of that vision that was pulling me forward that landed me right here, and that divine order working in my life. And I chose to listen to that voice and trust that guidance instead of the fear and the doubt of the what ifs and what other people think and what other people's opinions are about my life. We get to choose. We have agency over our own lives. And that is the joy and the freedom of getting to live life to the fullest, right? So what holds us back most likely is our fears and our doubts, right? And perhaps a little bit of what other people might think. So the question is, are you listening to your own divine guidance? Or are you listening to the guidance of your peers, your family, the opinions of other people, or are you listening to your inner self? Everyone has their own stuff, their own stories, their own fears and doubts that can easily be projected onto you if you seek too much if you put too much weight in someone else's opinion about your life, right? We're just like, that's just what we do. We project onto other people. And it's so much easier to see, oh, Soni, you should do this and that and the other without really being willing to investigate my own life, right? How many of you do that? You can see what everyone else needs to do to fix and change their life, but yet I'm good. I don't know, whatever. So
Absolutely. It's like you did listen to my voice when I told you to come here, which was good, though. I'm just saying. So if you're not listening to your own, call me up.
Yeah, so at least call Reverend Soni. You can trust her. But really that brings me to my next point that, we do have to, it is important to discern those voices that we're listening to and to get wise counsel. Right. Wise counsel. When we're looking at making choices and decisions in our life, it's very wise to just pay attention with who you're listening to and who you are trusting for that guidance. Practitioners are a great resource to reach out to because they will not project their own opinion on you. That's what they are. They have a license that says they will not do that. So you can trust that they will just be there to hold the highest good for you and to be that wise counsel to direct you to find within you your own guidance. So I feel like almost every week I'm promoting practitioners because it's how I have changed my life by working with a practitioner in so many ways.
Me too, absolutely.
So just another little plug for working with a practitioner. Spiritual Mind practitioners are available on our website. Call them. All right, back to the lesson. So an affirmation I use a lot is, something within me knows. Mm-hmm. Whatever may be going on, just repeating that. Something within me knows. Something within me knows.
I know that I know.
That's a good one.
I know that I know that I know.
So find those reminders, those mantras, affirmations that you can use to bring you back into alignment with the truth as you walk this journey into the unknown. And to know that we are here to wake up to that vast power and potential of the universe that resides in each of us, and to allow it to have its way in and as our lives, knowing that all things are possible because we are supported by, we are backed by the entire universe. We could run around this world running on batteries, kind of sheer willpower, but eventually, just like a real battery, it will run out of steam. It will run out of power. Or we could be plugged into the source energy, which is the truth of the life that is flowing through us. But just like a lamp needs to be plugged in, no matter if it's not plugged in, no matter how many times you do that switch, you're not going to get the light.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. So you want to be that lamp plugged into source and allowing that infinite resource, that infinite well of life energy to express through you, to lead, to guide you, knowing that you are backed by a creative power greater than you can even imagine. And yet it is closer to us than we can even know because it is the essence of who we are. Our higher self is always leading and guiding.
Always.
And we are never alone.
Always.
We are never alone. We here at Ahava, we have your back. Spirit has your back. Spirit is always speaking if you are listening to that still small voice, or maybe it's a loud nudging voice. Mm-hmm. We all experience it at different times, right?
Absolutely.
But we must be willing to listen and then to begin to trust that guidance, trust that voice, to the point where we practice this so much that it no longer becomes a question of whether this guidance is from spirit or if it's from our own little, small-minded, scared ego, right? That we can trust this voice and it becomes so familiar, like a best friend. When they call you, pick up the phone. They don't have to tell you their name. You know their voice. That's the goal, to be that in tuned with this power of the universe through us, that when we get that guidance, we know this is ours to do because I'm backed by the power of infinite source of the universe. And then we don't have to be afraid of making any wrong decisions like we talked about before, right? That no matter what, if we take a step forward, we're willing to learn from it, we can always keep course correcting on that path. There is no right or wrong. There is simply the life urge, divine urge moving through us, pushing us forward. We just have to keep taking that step, being willing to test the waters, being willing to leap into that stream and to flow with life. Flow with life.
With, not against.
Not against. You know, it's like laying on a raft and letting the stream guide you along here. That's the power that we have within us.
It's kind of like dating the universe.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, I mean, think about it. When you first go out on a date, you're kind of shy and don't know what to say and everything. So you're testing the waters, right? And then the more you get to know the universe or the person you're dating, the easier it feels. So
Surrender
and be yourself.
Yes.
And so then what happens is the universe is always, it's always got your back. It's always answering. So, and when you first go out on a date, you're kind of listening to the other person or you're trying to say who you are, right? Yeah. And so now you're dating and you're really comfortable. And so you're listening. You're really listening.
Yes, without as many of those filters,
right?
I like that.
Exactly.
I like that. So it takes a little willingness to date the universe.
To date the universe.
To date the universe, as well as the power of decision to decide to no longer energize those thoughts of lack, of doubt, of limitation, and to fully trust and allow the allness of spirit to lead and to guide us, that ultimate source that is flowing through us and bringing to us more opportunities than we can ever imagine. And I know that is what I am interested in. I'm interested in dating the universe and just floating down that river with ease, right?
Yes. Right, and getting gifts from the universe.
Yes. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
ooh, lots
right,
of gifts. Bring me all
when
the
you
gifts.
Get close, they
Yeah,
start giving you earrings and diamonds and stuff.
All right. Who you been dating? All right, so the Science of Mind teaching is a perfect roadmap for our spiritual, emotional, physical, as well as financial awakening. This teaching is that roadmap, providing the tools and the practices and the guidance for us to practice being in alignment with this truth. And what I love is that every person who really practices these principles has a story of how it's changed their life. We were just talking about this in the Essential Ernest Holmes class last week. One of the questions was like, why is the word science in it? Why is it science of mind or religious science? Well, there's this way that we can actually test and prove the teaching, specifically through the power of affirmative prayer or what's called spiritual mind treatment. So I encourage the class to begin to document their demonstrations, to document those answered prayers as evidence, to build a case for how these spiritual practices actually transform our lives. So now is the time for all of us to just pay attention and to be aware and to share that good in our lives of how building the case for how the law works in our life by always saying yes. Just notice whatever, you're energizing. The law says yes. And this is intentional manifestation. This invites us to exercise our freedom and to create the desired life that we want to experience. And this is how we practice building that faith and conviction so that we can be even stronger in our faith through just simply noticing how it works in our lives. Ernest Holmes says, the greatest gift life could have made to you is yourself.
I love that.
There you go. Even greater than diamonds.
Yes, absolutely.
The greatest gift life could have made to you is yourself. You are a spontaneous, self-choosing center in the great drama of being, the great joy of becoming, and the certainty of eternal expansion. Oh, those are juicy words. Juicy. The certainty of eternal expansion. So what I know is that the world needs you to step out of your comfort zone and step up into all that you have come here to be. And now is the time to be brave. Yes?
To be brave.
To be brave.
Absolutely. To be brave. I was thinking about, You know, I have no idea where this, came up about dating the universe or whatever and getting diamonds, but I was thinking about a talk I did several years ago about coal
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and the pressure that's required before it turns into a diamond. And so what that says to me is, when you talk about being brave,
Yeah.
is that sometimes in our lives we really feel the pressure of living, but that we can use that pressure of living to become diamonds.
Beautiful.
So, in Brené Brown's book, Braving the Wilderness, she uses the acronym BRAVING, and I want to leave you with this today before we go into prayer. And how she uses this acronym is B, boundaries. Boundaries, set, hold, and respect boundaries. And then R is for reliability. Learn to say what you mean and mean what you say.
Yes.
Accountability for A. Step up, be accountable, take responsibility, and issue meaningful apologies when you're wrong. V is vault. Keep confidences. Recognize what is ours to share and what is not. Then, of course, integrity for the I. Practice your values even when difficult and hard. You're talking about practitioners. Yeah. They are bound by confidentiality. Another reason to see them. Non-judgment for the N. Give and receive help. And then, of course, G is generosity. Learn how to be generous in our assumptions about others. Braving. So the question this week that I want to leave you with is, how brave are you willing to be to step out and step into your magnificence?
Yes.
How brave are you willing to be to step out and step up into your diamondhood?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. Let's go into prayer.
All right.
Taking that deep breath in. Knowing that singing is praying twice. And so coming from that this morning, the beautiful and amazing song, My Soul Sings Out. Knowing that right here and right now, there's only one soul, one power, one presence, one source of all, one mind, and that mind is my mind now. I claim it. Even when I don't know it, I am still connected in, through, and as the one source of all. As I take a deep breath in, I embody and know that this source that I speak of has always got my back, is always here. And as it is supporting me, it is supporting each and every member of our community. The place we lovingly call Ahava Center for Spiritual Living. And I know this power and presence as love, as order, as power, as peace, as all of these things, yet no thing. It simply is that which is creating out of itself every minute, every second of every day, only what is like itself, over and over again, over and over again. That unique expression, no two people the same, for they are bound by the unique expression that was created from the source, out of the source, as the source. And as I know this power and presence to be the same for this community, it is from that place of knowingness that I lie upon the altar of truth, deepening, standing in the power and presence of truth, and speaking this word for this community, knowing that this community is brave. We are brave. We are brave, and we come together to know and stand in the power of the One. I know that right here and right now, as we step out and step up, that we are creating a world that works for everyone, because it starts here, in this place, in this time, in this moment, which is the only moment that matters. And so I know that for anyone who may be struggling right now, that there is a greater truth to be known. A greater truth to be known. That right here and right now, everything is unfolding for the highest good of all. If you are within the sound of my voice, hear me when I say all is unfolding for the highest good, for me and you and this community and all. Because there is nothing outside of God. There's nothing outside of Spirit, nothing outside of the universe. That it is right here, living, expressing, being, as your life and my life, and the lives of all. And so I know right here and right now, without hesitation, without delay, that love is right here. I claim this love for all. I claim it for all. I stand in the gap for you. For when it's hard to know, when it's hard to realize, there is always someone there to listen. How grateful I am for my ears and my heart and my soul that can reach out, for my arms that eventually will be able to hug. How wonderful this is. How wonderful to know this and to speak my word. And so it is with a grateful heart that I pass my word to Reverend Rainbow.
And I just take a nice deep breath of full acceptance, accepting the word that has been spoken with love, with gratitude. So grateful for the fulfillment of this word. So grateful to know that this prayer is already done in the mind of God. So I step into full acceptance and let it be. Letting it be right here, right now. And so it is.
So it is.